Hello, I'm Georgie Coleridge-Cole and welcome to the SheerLuxe show. It's a parenting special today and we have some wonderful guests talking fashion, food, parenting tips and all the tricks. Laura and I will be doing a major clothes haul from one of my favourite high street brands for children, just in time for the new season ahead. Then SheerLuxe contributor Sommer Pyne is throwing together two simple and nutritious midweek suppers that all the family will love. Later, we have the very wonderful Katherine Elizabeth, super nanny extraordinaire, chatting about boundaries and how important they are for a happy, balanced home. Finally, the very stylish Patricia O'Dwyer is giving us a sneak peek into a day in her life as a new mother. Congratulations, Patricia. And she's showing us exactly what she packed in her hospital bag. But first, it's a bit of chat, a bit of things we love. Welcome, Laura, Toby, Sarah.
Hi.
How lovely to have you all.
So good to be here.
What a very glamorous, chic-looking group of mothers you make.
Well, we try.
we were admiring your top, Toby, but sadly we're not here to talk about fashion. But anyway, we're actually going to start off with motherly advice just to get the juices flowing. And actually, before we do that, can we just run through how old everyone? What have you got? And how old your children are, Sarah?
Yes. Okay, so I've got a boy, Lion, who's 4 years old. A girl.
Don't scrimp on the names. I mean, the names is the best bit. Lion is 4.
Lion is 4. Nancy is about to be 3. And then Celeste is 6 months.
Great.
Obviously a girl too. Boy, girl, girl.
Toby?
So I've got 2. I've got Joshua, who's 4, and then I've got Grace, she is old, and Grace obviously is a girl.
Laura?
So I've got Willow, who's 7, Bella, who is 5, and Rafi, who's 4.
Mine are Cookie's 11, Otto is 9, and Mimi is 5.
Nearly forgot, but yeah.
Really had to focus. Okay, can we start off with parenting advice? I mean, there's so much that one picks up along the way. Laura, I'm going to start with you. Is there a phrase or something other mothers have said to you over the years that has kind of stuck with you?
The days are long, but the years are short. And I've really stuck by that because it's so true. Because now I'm coming out of that physical, they're really demanding of me. I do look back and I'm like, oh God, that went so quickly. And like, are there bits that I don't remember? But yeah, it's really stuck with me, that.
Oh gosh, I've just thought of another one. Yes, that's a very good one. People always say, don't you, you only have 18 summers or something. So like the summer holidays as a parent.
Oh God, I've never heard that.
I've never heard that one. Well, we had a thing last summer and we were like, God, we've only got 7 summers now of Coco before she wants to go travelling. And hey, I think by the time they get to 30 and they're having their own children and can't afford to go on holiday, they might go,
they'll come back.
Can we go on holiday? Can we go on holiday with you? And that's like, my husband and I are a dream. All we want to do is get to a stage in life where our children and our grandchildren come back.
Yeah.
For now, they're flying by really quickly.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Toby?
So someone I work with said that basically you can evaluate your life in quarters. So being a working mum, whichever setup you have at the moment, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to necessarily stick to it. Try it. If it doesn't work, move on. Try something else. Don't feel like your life is stuck in one particular solution or framework.
Yeah.
So I've definitely kind of taken that to be like our thing. We'll evaluate our life in quarters.
So just before I had our 3rd child, a lady said to me, she was like, I've got a really great piece of advice to give you. And I was like, okay, here she goes. She was kind of quite spiritual. Anyway, she was like, just remember to look after yourself. And I was standing there being like, God, what a selfish cow. I was like, of course I'm not. Like, I've got kids and da-da. And I digested it. And I was like, actually, she's so right. And if you're happy and like you've got all your ducks in a row and you're like, you know, like I go swimming every morning and try and get organised with life, and it makes you then a much better mother. And actually, I think it's just we do need to look after ourselves to then be able to mother well.
I mean, there's so many things, but I think ultimately everything's a phase and you will get through it. Like, you will get through potty training. I mean, my first child potty training was,
Outsourced.
Worst week of parenting, I reckon. And, you know, you will get through the sleepless nights and you will get through the fussy eating and you will get through more significant challenges. But if I'm going through a really, really hard time at the moment, I'm like, you will get through this. Like, there's another side.
It's all a phase.
It's
not forever.
But you don't want to wish it away. You've got to enjoy the moment somehow, whether that's help or looking after yourself or, you know. No, we really should write a book. Anyway, we've got more to talk about. On that subject of help and advice, are there books that you've relied on, I guess, up to the stage you're at now, Laura?
So when my children were born, there was a book, Your Child Week by Week, which was my absolute Bible. Like literally for the first, I mean, probably I didn't always get to the very end, but for those first few weeks, I was like, we're on track. And I'd read it in the night as I was feeding. It was just a Bible for me. But now they're getting older, and I have quite a few older nieces and nephews who I look at, and they're changing and they're becoming difficult and emotional and hormonal. And I'm like, I don't want that.
Welcome to my world.
So I'm there's a book called Between, which kind of addresses the tween age and all the bodily changes and the friendships and the hormones and their kind of anger and all of those. And it's like I'm going prepared. It's a really good book.
Put that on my list.
I need that, please. Toby, what about you?
So mine's called What Is My Child Thinking? And I remember I bought it when I was pregnant with Grace, and Joshua was just about to hit the 2s, and I was just struggling. I just didn't know what to do. I just remember waddling to Waterstones on Piccadilly, sitting there and kind of starting to think like, right, I need this book. And it's great because I think it goes from the 2s to 6 years old, and it kind of goes through different situations. So like a tantrum and what each child at each phase of their life is potentially thinking at that particular stage, and how different tactics to basically deal with it. I keep it by my bedside, like a Bible.
Somebody once said to me, you have time in rather than time out. So instead of like putting them out in the corner, you actually give them that time to kind of express their feelings, teach them how to deal with it. And I mean, it requires patience, doesn't it? And time.
That's someone a lot stronger than me. But
but interesting because their brain is not there yet.
Yeah.
And it's kind of having the patience to deal with it.
Sarah.
I'm very much a Gina Ford, the contented baby. I probably sound like a bitch, but...
No, I'm with you. And don't throw stones, everyone.
Don't.
And I have to say, I was thrilled to see this on the list because I was a big Gina Ford girl, but it gave me control.
Yeah. And I want to know when you can do...
Each to their bloody own.
I agree.
I don't co-sleep, but I don't expect to be judged for not co-sleeping.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So... Nice
I also
people.
think for you, like me, our children are really close in age, and you needed an element of control because if one's not, you need to know where you're at because you've got 2 others to deal with.
I really liked that, knowing the boundaries and what they could and couldn't do. And I mean, we didn't follow it like to every minute.
Pinch of salt.
Yeah, pinch of salt.
Yes.
Like we could
eat your toast at this time. I
mean,
I might have porridge, but thanks.
And then wash your bottles and baby has to be lying down, etc. But yeah, I think it's a really lovely structure.
Yeah.
To me, it gave us freedom that we knew they'd be asleep from 1 till 3, and we could have friends for lunch or do some work or whatever
have a
it
shower
was.
or exactly.
And for us, that was liberating. Yeah. I've got lots. I mean, I'm sure we could all think of lots. What to expect when you're expecting, if you're pregnant and you're watching.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a
Bible,
yeah. The same on your baby week by week. French children don't throw food, I thought was a great one. Just the chapter on la pause, which I've referenced before, probably on podcasts, so sorry if I'm like a stuck record. But basically the idea is if you run to your baby the minute it shrieks, then it's going to get used to it. So just wait, because they might go back to sleep, or they might just lie in their cot and be happy for 45 minutes until you're ready to get up. Raising girls, raising boys, they're good books. We've interviewed, I think, the writer of that. And I mean, most recently, Anya Hindmarsh's book.
Yeah.
So good.
On
Do you
so
need to
many
get
levels.
this?
Have you not read it?
No.
Oh, Toby,
but I've heard you guys. I know. I've heard you guys talking about it so much that I definitely have to get it.
It is. She's also narrates it on Audible, and it is it's excellent to listen to it.
Yeah, you've said that. I passed that on to a few people who were like, I was like, put it on your dog walk.
Just exactly. If you're short of time, it's such a good way to, and it's really nice hearing her.
Okay, final thing we're going to discuss today. Seems a bit random now, but actually, it's the best game or toy for your children. Just it's good to have a few nuggets, whether it's Uno or City Sausage or Rummy Cub, as I gave to 6 families at Christmas.
Yeah, and I also did, and we've started playing, and it is addictive. But almost, I don't really want my children involved sometimes. I'm like,
my husband and I will sit in front of the fire and play Rummy Cub, but equally I'll play with the children. It's bloody so brilliant. Good. But it's quite good to have a few things, not too expensive things. A few winners, especially for children. My daughter's got a party on Friday. I was like, so I sent you, I'm pointing at Hodge, she's over there. I sent you that pink cake.
Incredible.
£10. Amazon. It looks like it's from Mary Mary.
Yeah.
So
It's like a
expensive.
pink tulle with gold stars on. I mean, Mimi came down the other day and I was like, I need one of those in my wardrobe. Anyway, Laura, what are your go-tos?
It doesn't sound that original, but we are really in the stage of double. Like, all of us can play. Again, it's affordable for a gift. I think it's great.
It's double the two cars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We went out for
Excellent.
lunch on Friday. Mimi's got a princess version of double.
Yeah, great. They do Harry Potter. They do all the
Jonesy
different
struggled though
ones.
because it was Disney and it was like the teapot from Beauty and the Beast. So he didn't know the name of the teapot.
Oh, right, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Massively on the
Oh,
back foot. Anyway, it's such a good game. I think having a couple of games for us, I mean, my son struggles to concentrate and sit still. So for us, having an Uno and a double,
Yeah.
pick-up sticks.
Pick-up sticks, another good one.
Not great in a restaurant when they go all over the floor.
Yeah.
In one's bag is
Life-changing.
very important. Yeah. Double, great one. Laura, I feel like you've got others.
I've got the little mice, those mare leg
what?
mice. Do you know those? The little mare leg, they're like
Matchbox.
little, they come in little like matchboxes.
Yeah.
And they're just so sweet. And my daughter she loves like little things. So she'll take a little bag and it's just full of
Crap.
weird rubbish.
Crap, yeah.
But she loves it. And those little mice, she adores. Like, she'll put them to bed and
They
they'll
are
have
the
tea
cheapest little
parties.
mice,
Yeah.
aren't
And they are like a chic little
They're quite
toy.
expensive little mice.
And they do a really sweet little tooth fairy one where you
sweet.
can put your first tooth in. And she's like been holding onto this tooth fairy now for God knows how long, but still waiting for that tooth to fall out. But she literally adores them. They're really sweet little gifts.
You also put Hit the Button app. What's that?
Yeah, it's an app. It's not a game.
Okay, I'm listening.
But it's times tables, and it's the one thing that has got my daughter into her times tables because they have to beat it. So like you get a score.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's not really a
a
game,
couple of
but
those, aren't
there are a few, but it's the one that she's got quite into.
All right, Toby. We got another fairy.
Oh yes, this is for Grace. So she is probably more into dinosaurs, but when she's not playing with dinosaurs, she absolutely loves this doll. It's by Philly and Friends, and they do like a whole range of kind of diverse toys for kids.
I know exactly.
Yeah, and so she brings it along with her. It's her baby, takes it everywhere, sleeps with her. I absolutely love it, and they're all handmade as well, so they're really beautiful. So as a mum, I feel really good buying it for her.
Yeah.
And then you've got Robo Dinosaur.
Oh gosh, yes.
Explain.
So Joshua got this for Christmas from his godfather, who lives in Dubai and likes to buy him basically whatever he wants. So it's this big dinosaur. It has a remote control, and you press it, and then it dances to different songs.
We've
and
got
it
one
has,
of those.
like little, I don't know if you call them bullets. That's
Yeah.
not the right word. And they kind of throw and stick at different things. He's obsessed.
amazing.
Is it noisy?
It's noisy.
How
Jeez,
big?
Mike Coco got given one of those. Yeah, she had a bachelor godfather as well. Who sent her one of those. Freaking bane in my life.
thing.
They are. It's unhelpful. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Grace loves it.
Sarah.
So our children love painting and getting out paint, and it's so annoying because they get it everywhere and it's always a disaster. So we've recently discovered these paint sticks, which are just life-changing. So they get a big piece of paper.
They're good, those.
They're really good.
Quite pretty as well.
They're quite pretty, they're satisfying, quite nice for you to play. The colours still mix, and that's what we're definitely enjoying.
Thank you, ladies. Not chatting. I felt like we could have chatted. You need to come back with a podcast. Anyway, coming up next, we have a haul from one of our favourite affordable high street destinations for children's clothing. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Daisy Reed, and on this week's Luxe Girl Show, I'm joined by Maya Lucky, Millie Hobbs and Flora Moronga for another episode of the group chat. If you're in need of some everyday outfit inspiration, Amrit is here with her tips for recreating some of the coolest looks we've seen on Instagram this week. Then, from dealing with social anxiety to coping with the pressures of Instagram, mindset coach Hattie McAndrews tells me her top tips for being happy and confident. Keep watching to find out why it feels so good to stay in your own lane. Finally, luxury personal shopper and content creator Morgan Alice is here to show you what a typical day in her exciting job looks like.
Now, one of our go-tos for children's wear has always been Next. From great denim and swimwear to slim-fitting trousers for boys to pretty blouses and dresses for girls to shoes to pants and socks. I mean, it never disappoints. Honestly, we love a bit of Next.
Absolutely love a bit of Next.
Love
for
a bit
kids.
of Next. Half my children's wardrobes, it's Next and Zara, basically.
Yeah.
Laura, we've got a Wonderful array. Can I just say, I own three. We have 3 of those pairs of shoes in our household, which is hilarious. We're going to start with boys.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of this. What have you got?
So we're going for slightly older age. It's quite easy to dress children when they're kind of little because there's so much cute stuff around, but it's a bit more difficult as they get, 6 upwards. It starts to get a bit more tricky to buy for.
I agree, and girls can get a bit too trendy too quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm with you. So
first up, I mean, it's just really good classics for boys, I think, at next. So this is really, really nice. Little zip, classic knit. I mean, you'll see, but they've done some really amazing knitwear. So
Otto has that.
There we go.
That colour and in grey as well.
Perfect. Yeah.
£18. Love that. Really nice with a shirt underneath.
Yeah,
Very
really nice.
Next
up, they just do these great, I mean, they do these year after year. I think this comes in a soft blue as well. Just lovely as goes into summer. Really nice now with chinos, I think, but also with shorts in the summer.
Love.
Really nice.
And those, I mean, God, I love La Coqueta, but they do lovely sort of Nehru collar granddaddy shirts.
But
But
it's
this one,
£13 as well.
I've got 12 here. Anyway,
Yeah.
it goes up slightly as they get older.
Yeah.
But
great.
I love that.
So next up, we've got this sort of flannelly shirt.
Oh, it's nice. It's soft.
It's soft, isn't it? For a bit of colour, quite nice at this time of year, I think, as it's getting a little bit warmer, but you still need something a little bit thicker.
With denim and a white t-shirt
and a white t-shirt underneath and
it's
some
quite
cool trainers.
rodeo, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I like it.
Cool. I think
it's really cool.
And we've got, I really, really love this
that's
knit.
nice.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah, really nice.
I just think that's really
How do I
nice.
feel?
And it's quite lightweight, so I think in the summer, that is going
that's
to be
really nice.
really nice.
£12, and that feels like cotton as well.
It does. So nice. Love that.
Yeah.
If you're not into a collar as well, like I think it's
pair
quite
of white
nice.
shorts. Or,
Yeah, really nice. Okay, then this actually comes with matching joggers, and they are quite good for a tracksuit. But I love the colour of this.
It's a bit different.
Yeah, this colour suits my son. So
They
I'm always
do
drawn to
good
it.
pats. Are you into? Do your children wear trackies?
Not yet. I'm going to say no, but
You're not there
one
yet.
day,
Nine is
not there
what,
yet.
4?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I think Otto only really Otto would literally came out of the womb in loafers. I mean, honestly, he loves his loafers. But I finally got him into a tracksuit, and I do buy them all in Next. I think with Next, the tracksuits, I tend to go for the sort of higher end, slightly more expensive ones because they're a bit more kind of soft. And,
I like the ones that are a little bit more tapered
I agree.
on my kids. I don't like the bigger styles, but
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. But they do, I think they do great trackies. I think it's better to spend a bit more. Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that cool? It's a really nice wash. I just say I love a little boy in a denim shirt, a linen shirt and a denim shirt. I just love a little boy like that. So yeah, I think that's a really nice shape and a really nice colour.
Nice open like a shacket as well.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, next we've got a puffer.
They do these really, really well. It comes in so many different colours. But I think the black's quite cool.
Nice,
as
isn't
they
it?
get a bit older.
Classic.
Yeah.
Really nice.
20 quid. Really nice.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah,
I love that. Looks expensive.
totally agree.
Oh, I mean, that is Otto. That is literally,
Cute.
I
He
think
loves.
that is so nice.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
really lovely.
I think they do really great slim fitting chinos for boys. And I'm, as you were saying, Toby, I like a slim leg, and I've got a tall, skinny boy.
Yeah.
So I like
These
that.
slim.
And
Here we go.
Zara's get very skinny as they get older. That's so nice. But they do an even slimmer fitting.
Okay,
that is
that's
slim.
a slim with
So they do a
stretch.
skinny,
Okay.
but it's not too skinny. Whereas
Yeah,
I
the
find
Zara
the
ones are like
Zara
leggings.
skinny are. Do you agree?
Yeah, they're like leggings on Joshua.
Not a good look.
Yeah.
And then I know you've mentioned them already, but they're joggers.
Yeah.
And
Fab.
this came in a pack of 3.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So good.
Okay. Is that the boys?
That's
Can we
all
do the boys?
Oh, we
Can
haven't
do the
done the boys'
shoes?
shoes.
Can I say? I said I own 3 pairs of these shoes. I lie. I own 4 because we have those too. And I mean, I honestly, there's not much in Southwest London. There aren't many quick places to buy children's clothes, so it really does all come from here. Those are brilliant because my son still struggles with the shoelaces.
Right, yeah. Yeah, these are good. And they go from like little as well up to bigger sizes.
They are cool. Toby, I feel like you're going to like these.
Yeah, I do like those. I like navy as well.
Yeah, navy's good.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
also come in a nice grey. I think they came in red, maybe
Go
black.
with everything.
Those are cool.
They're cute,
And
aren't they?
they're like 20 quid or something, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
And then for something a little bit more classic, a bit more Otto again.
Yeah, it also has those. Yeah.
He would like those if you're
Yeah.
after something a bit
They're
smarter.
good with the rubber because they're slightly better in the summer if you're
Yeah.
near water.
And does he have the boots?
No, but I need the boots. They're fab.
They're just a nice classic,
They're
aren't they?
really nice.
Yeah.
Are they leather?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like you've got to kind of find your vibe, you know. There are different, you can go down there. I've been in there with my daughters and they're like, the glitter and there's something, and I'm like,
Yeah,
on the clothing,
Come
I'm
back,
like,
come
no,
back.
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
we'll
exactly.
stick to the floral dresses.
Yeah.
But there is something for everybody.
Absolutely.
There's so much, isn't
Yeah.
there?
And like if they're a classic like Otto who likes his loafers and his cardigan, but if they're a little bit more skater, you can get the
Yeah.
trainers and the round
Yeah,
neck
you can
and
do the-
yeah.
God, I mean, I love that and the trainers. And
Yeah,
the,
exactly.
Yeah, there is really something for everyone. Okay,
Okay.
the girls' stuff,
So
much more fun.
girls, we're starting with a really cute little dress, isn't it?
Sweet.
For summer. I think
Love
that's
that.
really cool.
Be a pretty bridesmaid dress.
Doesn't have a price on it. Yeah, actually, there's another one coming up, which is also a really pretty bridesmaid's dress.
What is that? £24.
£24.
Gorgeous.
Really sweet, really
Yeah, I
nice
love that.
colour.
Really nice. Really nice. Next, we've got some dungarees. God, there's like enormous, or I think they'd fit you.
I know, they're not far off actually. But I love children in dungarees. So I think these are, just a really nice classic. And they came in a couple of different washes as well.
I feel like I need to put mine in dungarees more. I've got a friend who very sweetly gave me a lot of her children's clothes, and there were loads. There were sort of dungarees in every size.
They're
and actually,
really
when you
good.
put someone with a pretty shirt,
Yeah,
it does look great.
really
Sarah, you're nodding.
I'm a huge. I've always put both our son
In
and daughter in
dungarees.
dungarees. They're so good. Yeah, with a pretty shirt or like a nice
Yeah.
knit.
But I
Little
also
waistcoat over
like
the top.
them, like Willow's 7 now, and I quite like her in these with some high top.
Yeah,
and like
really
a little
cool.
pretty shirt. Yeah, I think it's really sweet. So
Sweet.
they're great, and they come in a darker wash.
What I love is that you can dress your children and make them look pretty and cool and whatever, just without spending a
Spending
fortune.
a
fortune.
We are so lucky in this
Yeah.
country, aren't we? Okay, next we've got another dress.
So we've got this, which I'm not sure if this is up your street or not, but I thought this was really sweet. And actually, I'm going to jump forward a bit, but there's a really nice little tabard, which I thought
That's
was
nice
really
together.
nice
Lovely.
over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it's
if you're-
not up my street, but they're both nodding.
Yeah,
We'll have
love
a-
together,
Yeah.
not separate.
I
Well,
think
not the
if you're
dress
not
by
into
itself.
pinks and the soft
Yeah.
colours, I think that's a really nice
Yeah.
way to. Actually, as they get a bit older, sometimes they look a bit. I don't know if they're always in pink, it becomes.
Oh,
a bit,
I agree.
So I
It's
like
so
that. That's
interesting
a little
watching
bit
how
cooler.
people dress their children and channel
Yeah.
their own style
Yeah,
into
definitely.
their children.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. I get it. But the tabard's cool. In fact, Kofi's got, I think, practically that.
And then
oh,
another
pretty.
little pretty dress.
Oh, I love that.
Cute, isn't it?
Really cute.
With some little white high tops. I think.
Quite
Yeah,
Reformation.
lovely. Yeah,
It
very
is really
Reformation.
Yeah.
Look at the sleeves, the little puff sleeves.
Yeah, I love that. It's like
Really
a ditzy
sweet.
print.
Yeah.
That's
and I
more
think
me
that
than
came in
the-
a blue as well.
Yeah, really nice. In fact, we've got very similar to those. Coco and Mimi have these jeans.
Yeah,
And Mimi have-
they're really nice.
They're
They're
great.
like a really nice.
and they do grey
They're
as well.
soft.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, I thought those were really sweet, like rolled up at the bottom with a pretty blouse.
I love a paper bag on little girls. I think they look a bit
Yeah.
cooler.
Yeah,
I
I
totally
agree.
agree.
Yeah, very nice. I love that I can literally go into Next and, as I said, buy their pants, their socks, their
Yeah.
vest, their everything, and I'll spend 300 quid, and I will
Yeah.
honestly come
Their
out with,
wellies, their hats. So
I'll
you
come
like
out
it.
with 15 things,
Yeah.
and that's quite a lot for your money.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
So this comes in a couple of different.
See that under the dungarees?
Yeah, it'd be
would
really pretty.
nice.
Yeah, really sweet, and then it comes in
Oh, lovely.
that wash too, which I thought this would look really sweet under the little tabard
Yes.
with the paper bag waist.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, lovely.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah,
Really
so
nice.
They do blouses.
£13.
Really, really nicely. So we've got this one too, which is sort of
Oh, sweet.
very SheerLuxe approved.
Love.
Yeah, really sweet.
It's nice pink.
Nice, sweet, nice.
My
colour.
problem is I go in, I'm like, well, that's a pretty blouse, it's 12 quid. That's a pretty blouse. And then they've got
Yeah.
quite a few. Really nice. What Oh.
Then we've got this, which is a bridesmaid's dress, but I just thought in the summer,
Yeah.
it's just, look at the back.
Very cool.
Beautiful.
It's so sweet, isn't it?
Oh my
I'd
God.
actually
I think
really
Laura
like it in
Wills
my
needs
size.
3 of those.
She does,
for
doesn't
her
she?
beach holiday in Mauritius with
Yeah.
her children.
It's so gorgeous.
Oh.
And feel it, it's really nice,
Oh, that's nice.
isn't it?
Oh, that's nice. That bow. How much is that? £42. So I think that is a bit more occasion.
Yeah, it is, but I
Lovely.
still think it's lovely.
Really,
Really
lovely.
nice.
That's a good spot. We've done the tabard.
Done the tabard.
This is a great dress. Coco has this from last summer, but she has it in slightly.
Yeah, I think
It's a floral, but it's a slightly different colour.
they
It's
bring
more
the
purple.
same shape, different prints, but it's just a really good classic summer
lovely.
dress and isn't too kind of little girly as
Yeah.
they go through that
I have
slightly
to
more
say,
difficult stage.
Yeah, she's a bit older. I feel like as a
Yeah.
it looks really good.
And
Nice.
then a little sweet denim jacket to go over the top. Again, it's just a classic, isn't it?
Yeah, sweet. And finally, shoes, both of which
So we're going
both of which
sparkles.
my daughters own.
But these are going in my basket for my children. I
Those
just
are
think.
brilliant.
So, I mean, Bella would go nuts for those.
Mimi thinks they're real golden goose. I'm like, yeah, if you want to think that, that's fine. There's no way I'd spend that on you. And Coco wore these as a bridesmaid,
Yeah.
which she was a bridesmaid aged, well, she's just 11. But I found it really hard on the shoes.
What to put on their feet.
What to put on their feet. And she wore a needle and thread dress that was, I mean, it was different, but it was
Similar.
tulle-y.
Yeah,
It's very nice.
And then she wore those with it, and it looked lovely.
Yeah, I think as they get older again, shoes
Really
can be
hard.
quite tricky.
Yeah.
It's just a nice, simple, I find that you're always going to get a girl that loves a bit of sparkle.
Yeah, she won't wear them again. She won't
Oh,
wear them
won't
now.
she?
No. She's a bit too into her, like,
Big trainers.
big trainers and sweatshirts down to her knees. But anyway, occasionally I slip in her pretty bad. Thanks, Laura. That was fab. If you have your eye on anything in particular, then all the products will be linked in our show notes below. Otherwise, visit next.co.uk. Next up, Sommer Pyne is showing us 2 delicious and easy family suppers. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Summer, and today I'm going to share some of my nutritious weekday family dinners. I don't know about you, but I just find it like just churning out the same old meal over and over again. I'm bored, my kids are bored, so today I'm going to inspire you with some really tasty recipes. So my first recipe is baked buttermilk chicken tacos, baked, not fried, with a side of sweet potato wedges. So let's get started. So the first thing you'll need to do is make the buttermilk marinade and chop up your chicken. I've used thigh because I just find it's more succulent. Now I've cut this up the night before and marinated overnight, but you could do it an hour before. All I've put in here is buttermilk, paprika, garlic powder, lemon rind and lemon, and salt and pepper. We want to take that out and dry it off before we set up our station. Once we've dried the chicken off from the marinade, we're going to put it through a dry mix, a wet mix and a dry mix. It is really easy. All I've got in here is flour, paprika, salt and pepper and garlic powder, and we're just going to mix that around. And that's your dry mixture done. Now I'm going to make the wet mixture, so we're just going to use a couple of eggs, and I'm just going to add some buttermilk to that as well. So we're just going to beat that up until it's all mixed together. Okay, our breadcrumb station is ready to go. This might be a great opportunity to get your kids involved. I know my kids love cooking. Very messy, but we have lots of fun. So I'm just going to take some chicken. You can put a few in at a time and just roll them around in the dry mixture. Like that. And then you want to take that, put it in the wet mixture, and then put it in the panko crumbs, breadcrumbs. I like panko. You can use normal breadcrumbs, but I think panko are much nicer. And I'm going to put it on a grease-proof tray, like so. So we're going to pop that in the oven on 200 degrees. After 10 minutes, we're going to turn them over and roast for another 10 minutes, and then they should be done. So now I'm going to do the sweet potato. My little one loves sweet potato, and she's not that keen on the crispy chicken. I don't know why, but that's just a thing. So she'll end up using these in the wrap. So I'm just going to chop these into wedges, like so. Then I'm going to throw them into this tin tray. Okay, so to that, I'm going to add some cumin. Love cumin. I put on everything. Some salt and pepper. pepper, and some olive oil. I just mix this with my hands just to cover it all. Right, so that's done. I'm just gonna pop that in the oven on 190. So what I like to do when I put the tacos on the table, I put lots of toppings so the girls can just help themselves. And I also make a really simple coleslaw. A food processor is so handy, so I'm just gonna bung this in my Magimix. I like to use purple and white cabbage just for the color. Okay, the chicken's been in for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna check to see if it's ready to flip over. What we're looking for is a golden color. And yes, they're looking very golden. Let's see, oh, that's perfect. So I'm just gonna put that back in. Another 10 minutes. So of course, if you don't have a Magimix, you can just grate this yourself and chop it really finely, but this is just takes the hassle out of it. Okay, now I just need to change the blade so we can grate the carrot. And that's pretty much done. So you can see it all ready to go. I'm just gonna add lemon. And this will be really lovely with all the other flavors when we put it together in a taco. We add some seasoning, some pepper, and some salt. So then we're just gonna mix it together like this. So I've got some mini tortillas here, just like that, and I'm just going to wrap them in foil and put those in the oven for like 5 minutes, so they're nice and warm. Okay, that is looking super lovely. It's nice and golden, which is exactly what we want, and it's really crunchy. And what I like to do is I just like to assemble a few tacos, put them on a tray, and then I put all the toppings out and the kids just help themselves. Avocado, some lettuce, cheese, my simple coleslaw, and some spicy mayo and some mayo for the kids. Sweet potato wedges are ready. I'm just gonna put them on a plate as well. And what you want them to be nice and caramelized and soft in the middle. Okay, so my next recipe is salmon encrusted in sesame seeds over egg fried rice. This is so delicious, and I don't know about you, but we always have salmon in our house, and this just takes it to another level. I've just put the oven on. I'm preheating that to 180. The first thing you want to do is take a cup of rice, and I'm gonna just put that in the saucepan like that, and I'm gonna add a cup of water. So 1 cup of water, 1 cup of rice. Put that on the stove to boil, and then I turn it down to simmer for 10 minutes or to whatever the package says. Okay, so I've got some salmon, and I've just lightly put some sesame oil over the top, and now I'm going to put that in this bed of sesame seeds, and that will stick, and then we're gonna pop it into the oven for 15 minutes, and it's really that easy, and then we can get back to the fried rice. So I'm just gonna make sure that's covered. Okay, so I'm just gonna check, that's starting to bubble away. I'm gonna give that a little stir. I'm gonna turn that down to simmer. The salmon is ready to go in the oven. I'm just gonna spray a little bit of light olive oil on top, just so that the sesame seeds go a nice golden color. So the salmon is in the oven, the rice is bubbling away. So let's get started with the sauce. So I'm just going to put some ginger, about 2 tablespoons, some soy sauce, some rice wine vinegar, and then I'm just going to mix that together. Next up, we need to prep the vegetables. Today I'm going to use sugar snaps. I love these because they're really crunchy, and some carrots, thinly sliced like this. It doesn't have to be neat. Again, you know, this is family. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna julienne these, and I've got a julienne peeler. If you don't have one of these, you can just cut it into matchstick shapes or sizes. And as you can see, they're really thin. That's the kind of texture you want. And then I might chop them in half just so they're a bit smaller when I put them in the fried rice. Okay, so now I'm going to make the omelette. So I'm just going to whisk 3 eggs together, and then we'll create an omelette that we're going to chop up. Right, so I'm just going to whisk that together. Okay, Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes. I'm just going to check the rice, and that looks really good to me. So I'm just gonna turn the heat off, and I'm just gonna let that sit while we finish everything else. Got my egg mixture, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of olive oil into a pan. And you just want that to swirl it around a little bit just to get it cooking. And I just pull this back like this. So that's ready now. All I'm going to do is slide that off onto a plate. So the salmon's ready. As you can see, it's nice and golden. We are now going to make the fried rice. We're just going to warm it through in a pan with all the sauces and vegetables, and then we're ready to plate. So the egg is cool enough to touch now, and I'm just going to roll it. These bits, I'm just going to leave to the side. I'm going to use that as garnish. Okay, so now that everything's ready, I'm just going to put a little bit of sesame oil in a wok. So to the oil, I'm just going to add the sauce that we made earlier. I'm going to give that a stir, and then I'm going to add the rice. I'm just going to stir, going to mix that through like this. I'm then going to add the vegetables and the egg. I just want to stir it through so it gets warm. I actually love having crispy vegetables. I think it's nice to have a bit of a crunch. My girls and husband love this dish. There's never any leftovers. Okay, so the fried rice is ready. I like just to put it in a big dish and then everyone helps themselves. But of course, if you're entertaining, you could put it into a bowl. But I think this is quite fun, so I'm just going to put that in there. Look at all those beautiful colors. Oh, it smells so good. I'm just going to put some salmon here, some garnish to the top, so some of that cut carrot and snow peas, some avocado, some of that egg just to the top. So that is my salmon and sesame seed fried rice. Okay, thanks for joining me. I hope you feel inspired, and all the recipes will be on SheerLuxe. Bon appetit.
Thank you so much, Summer. Everything looked amazing as always. Now, if you need some help with behaviour, then my next guest is the woman to know about. Katherine Elizabeth moves in with families for 3 days and helps to reset discipline and boundaries in the home. Whether you have toddlers or teenagers, she can help parents take control and restore a calm and happy environment. Here's what she said when we caught up earlier with her in the week. As a parent, I am only too aware of the challenges that come with disciplining one's children. Bedtimes, meal times, moody times, tweens, toddlers. It's exhausting having to constantly be the enforcer, to constantly maintain boundaries. But if you don't, then behaviour soon slips and you end up with serious problems on your hands. My next guest, Katherine Elizabeth, is a qualified nanny and childcare practitioner, and she provides parenting solutions that get to the crux of your child's frustrations and helps you manage them, cope with them, survive. And if her testimonials are anything to go by, then, well, I know someone that you've been to, and I know how brilliant you are. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I feel like I need my notebook out. This is a big topic to cover.
It is.
But I mean, why do things go wrong? We're here really specifically talking about boundaries, aren't we? And discipline and the impact that letting the boundaries slip can have. Why do things go wrong?
By the time a parent has realised something's gone wrong, it actually went wrong quite a while ago. They were just firefighting for a long time. So by the time a client gets in touch with me, they are calling me about symptoms. So won't be able to get out the house to school in the morning, or they won't be able to get them to go to bed or sit at the table, or they'll have a tantrum because they got given the red cup and they actually want the blue cup, and then they actually get given the red cup and actually they want the blue cup back. So parents are constantly trying to firefight all of these things, trying to keep them at bay, but actually they all come back to one thing, and that's my job, is to go in and help parents to identify that, because if a parent can understand where the issues are coming from, it's infinitely easier to tackle. And in my 12 years of experience, I found that actually it always comes back to control grabbing. There might be other factors involved, but actually control grabbing is a child that's learned to control the people around them rather than themselves, and they think they're the boss in the dynamic.
Catherine goes in to people's homes,
Yes.
observes them for 3 days, and then gives them strategies. You're then on the end of the phone. Anyway, just to sort of qualify what you do.
First day is very much observation, then we get down to work.
So how do you prevent that control grabbing? How do you prevent that hierarchy from breaking? And obviously we as the parents are at the top.
Starting with being the boss all the time, not just when you need to be. So quite often parents will give children control over some things. So they'll say, they'll have a day with their children without much to do, like a Sunday. So they'll go, right, okay, what do you want to do? And the child will say, right, well, I want to go to the park, or I want to do drawing or baking or something. And the parent will follow them because they're like, well, we don't mind. We've got a day with our children, so that's fine. But then when you get to a part of the day where you have to be the boss because it's a meal time or you're going out or it's bedtime, all of a sudden all hell breaks loose, and the parents can't understand it because as far as they're concerned, they've had a lovely day with their children, but the reason it was so lovely and the children were so great is because as far as they were concerned, they were in the driving seat. Whereas actually, if you just said, right, today we are going to the park, today we're going to the zoo, today we're doing this, put your shoes on, let's go. If you're the boss all the time with a capital B, when you then go, right, shoes on, we're going to the dentist, they're infinitely more likely to do it because you're in the driving seat.
But it's okay to give them choices.
Completely. But remember, I'm going into situations where usually things aren't great, and I usually say short term, pull right back on choices, you make all the decisions. But actually it's all about teaching the child to control themselves and their actions. So if you tell them to go and get dressed and you don't mind what they wear, of course they can go upstairs and decide what they want to wear that day. That's absolutely fine. They can go upstairs themselves, find the clothes themselves and put them on. And that's really important, but they control themselves. They don't control your day and the family dynamic. Whereas actually we try and compensate for perhaps what things have happened in the past by going too far the other way. So we give them too much choice and choice over everything to try and compensate. But actually that in itself, you know, a child actually wants someone to be firm, calm, consistent, tell them which way's up.
My little girl came down in a pair of shorts last weekend, pair of shorts and a little t-shirt, and said, I'm ready to go. I was like, no,
but you also reserve the right to say that's not warm enough, go back upstairs and get dressed. And if you're the boss with a capital B, that's infinitely easier.
I said, there's absolutely no way you are going out in a pair of shorts. It is the first week of February. Go upstairs and put your dress on. Can we talk about picking battles? Because when you say it, I mean, it makes such sense. I mean, I have a child with learning difficulties. You know, I have to pick my battles because if I didn't and we didn't, it would just be war all the time. And obviously, you know, that's a different situation. He's a different child. But for someone in a regular household, you don't want it to be all, or does that just become the norm?
Well, I tend to say is if you lose enough battles, you get a war.
Okay.
And actually, and I think that's a bit of a mindset thing. So when I go and work with parents, it's all about mindset. It's how they view the situation. Because quite often, if I can tweak that, that makes the world of difference. But it depends on the battle. So like I say, as long as they're listening to what you've asked, going upstairs and getting dressed is a great example. You're not getting into a battle. They're just going upstairs and getting dressed. However, general life decisions throughout the day, such as get up, put your clothes on, brush your teeth, put your shoes on, those are, you know, why should they listen to you sometimes but not others? So if sometimes you let it go, because children are actually, humans will learn to get what they want the quickest way. And if sometimes the parent means what they say and sometimes they don't, so here's the boundary and you're moving it. So they're just going to move it out of the way and go for what they want. Actually, when you say something, you mean it, whether it's sit nicely on the sofa, put your shoes on, let's go out, don't run in the road, there's a bus coming. Whatever it is you're saying, you need to mean it every time, not just sometimes, because for the child it's all the same.
Can I ask you, so I've got an 11, 9 and 5, and I'm getting to a point where the eldest will say, no, I'm not going to do that. And I'm like, yes, you will. I'm your mother. You will do what you... Is there an age? And as I'm saying, I'm like, at what age can they say no?
The bottom line is there probably is no age. You know, I say that as long as the parent-child dynamic's intact, as they get older, they should have that natural respect for you, where even if they do not want to do something, they'll actually talk to you about it. Whereas if they don't have that respect, they'll just be rude. And it's the rudeness that's the issue more than anything.
How do you re-establish the boundaries when they are broken? Do you sit your children down and do you say, right, you know, if they're old enough, do you sit them down and say, I'm going to be stricter now, we're going to have clearer boundaries, or do you just put it into practice?
I would just put it into practice, because if you've had broken boundaries and you sit them down and go, right, I'm going to be stricter now, they probably won't believe you. And you've got to almost, action speaks louder than words. It really is a case of that. So when I go and work with parents, obviously on day 2, that's when the morning we start to put things into practice, and the parents go, oh, should I not sit them down and warn them? And I go, well, you can, but A, they're not going to believe you, and B, they'll probably just try and take control of the situation, which is the issue that's going on here. Actually, you need to just start off the day by giving instructions, sticking by it, and being the boss all the time. Okay. You know, when you're in it, you can't see the wood for the trees. And I always say to my clients, if you're stood with your nose to a poster, you can't see the whole poster. You're in it every day. You've usually been trying copious amounts of firefighting techniques over years, and my job's to go in and strip that back.
Are there any strategies, tips that you give to clients, you know, as well as being consistent, re-establishing those boundaries, being the boss?
Always keep a lower tone. Parents tend to go either high-pitched or shouty. So they'll go high-pitched, 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 then swing and shout. Yeah, yes. Because a child of any age with their baby a bit older, we as a society, we tend to go higher pitched. And that's usually because the child will kind of look at you in shock if you go all high pitched, or they might smile. But actually, in our basic nature, an adult voice is lower for a reason. Firm, calm, consistent comes with that. A lower tone voice, high pitched, tends to be quite frantic and confusing. So always keep a lower tone. Always stick to the same few words.
Yes, you said that. Keep your commands simple.
Completely, and don't over explain yourself. So a parent tends to go in already firefighting because they think it's going to be a nightmare. So they'll go in with a bribe. They'll go in with a negotiation. But if you stick to that instruction like glue and then deal with anything bad after the fact, then that in itself can start to give a parent back control.
Where do you stand on, good old bribery?
It's a firefighting technique.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. I had a feeling. But reward charts, marbles and jars. I always think the children get bored of it.
Parents lose track because they're busy. Okay. Children end up not caring. And the reason that reward charts and marble jars and bribery doesn't work is because, again, you're taking the child away from what actually matters. So if the child is just brushing their teeth or putting their shoes on because they're going to get a marble in a jar or a sticker on a sticker chart or a piece of chocolate cake after dinner, whatever the bribe is, they are then doing it for that thing. Whereas actually, as they get older and older and older, one of two things happen. Either you have to step up the bribe so much, to the point where I've been in houses where children are being bribed to revise for their GCSEs with a car, which, they should want to revise for their GCSEs because they should want to do well. Or one day they just don't care what offer's on the table.
So when do they get a treat then?
I'm not saying you can't treat them, but I'm saying that it shouldn't be as a bribe to do everyday things.
My daughter worked quite hard for some exams recently, and I was like, do you know what? You really deserve a treat. We're going to go and do a... But I did it after she'd done it.
Fine.
It wasn't a...
And that's great. It wasn't an incentive. It wasn't a bribe.
I'm really proud that you've worked really hard.
But actually, all I would have done, that's so much better than bribing before, and that's lovely. You almost add it as an extra treat. But I normally say to my clients, again, children notice the detail more than anything. You don't even have to verbalise it. If you feel that she's had a really good day revising or anything that you think, do you know what, they've done a really good job, just take them for a hot chocolate. You don't have to say, oh, this has been because you've been really good and done X, Y, and Z. Just do something nice with them. Don't verbalise it, because then it almost becomes a backwards bribe. They might expect that next time.
But and where do you stand then on banning things and taking things away?
I think that you shouldn't have to do that, and then actually parents end up feeling really mean to then try and make up for it by compensating the other way, and then because they're compensating the other way, they end up swinging back because they've perhaps been too nice and done too much, because they've felt bad, because they've banned TV for a month or whatever it is they've ended up resorting to, which they don't tend to stick to anyway.
I remember a girlfriend saying to me, fuck, what have I done? I banned TV for the whole week. She's like, what the hell am I going to do with them after school? I was like, you're an absolute moron.
Because they get desperate and then they throw it out, and they either don't stick to it or they feel bad about it, or both. So you shouldn't really need to get to that point. And if you do decide that you're going to ban something for a day or whatever, just do it. Don't threaten it beforehand.
Thank you so much.
No
I
problem
feel
at
like
all.
there's a many more questions I want to ask you. I'm going to pummel you for information afterwards. You have got a book coming out. We need this book in our lives.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to start a podcast soon as well, because I like to ramble. I'm trying to keep it succinct today, but I do like to ramble.
Well, I want you to ramble on our podcast. Can you come back and talk some more?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so interesting, and I know you are absolutely brilliant, and you've been into the home of... That's how I came across you. They said, oh my God, we've got this, like... superwoman amazing behavioural expert in observing us. They're like, I literally feel like we're being examined, but I know you were just amazing, and thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I hope Catherine's advice has resonated with parents. Watching for more information about Katherine and her services, then visit katherineelizabeth.co.uk. Thank you so much, Katherine. So many good takeaways. In fact, I could take you away with me. That would just be the answer to all my problems. Next is a day in the life of the lovely Patricia O'Dwyer and her gorgeous new bundle of joy, Otley, from what she packed in her hospital bag to newborn cuddles. This really is a treat.
Hi, my name is Patricia O'Dwyer. I am a fashion content creator on Instagram and a brand new mum to a little girl I had 4 weeks ago. I'm really excited to be joining SheerLuxe today to talk to you a little bit about my hospital bag must-haves, what I wish I'd taken and didn't, and a little bit about what life has been like as a new mum. So it's probably worth mentioning that I had a C-section, so some of these things might be a little bit more specific to that, but to be honest, I think most of it is relevant no matter what type of birth you have. So to kickstart my absolute must-haves is a really boring one, but something that was so important to me, which is a good lip balm. This one is the Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream, and I absolutely swear by it. It's really important, I think, no matter what type of birth you have, there is a lot going on in your body. It's quite dehydrating, and also hospitals are really hot places, so you do sort of get a bit dried out, and this saved me. My other half was putting it on me in the hospital, so definitely find yourself a good lip balm. The second thing that was an absolute lifesaver for me is the lanolin nipple cream. You can get different types of this, but this is the one by Lancino, which I've loved. This is probably like my third or fourth bottle. I would recommend using, if you're going to breastfeed, which I have been, I was putting this on in the hospital. It's amazing. You can use it from the get-go. It doesn't affect the baby at all. And I would really recommend using it every single time you feed and really staying on top of that and using it religiously, because it will make a huge amount of difference. Next up is more of a fun one, which I loved getting, which was all my snacks. Get snacks for you and your birth partner. Make sure that there's no crossover there, because you could get a bit hungry, but getting some good snacks is really important. So I had things like crisps, my favourite sweets, I had little mini cartons of apple juice that my fiance was feeding me, and Lucozade was another good one. Just things that will give you a bit of a boost of energy, because it is really exhausting on your body. And in particular, I found overnight when I was so tired and it was just me and the baby because my other half couldn't stay with me, it was just really good to have something to sort of like keep me awake. So definitely get yourself some good snacks. Obviously more boring, but a good water bottle is also a great idea. Obviously you can get water in the hospital and they give you little cups, but I found it really useful to have a water bottle that I could have with me on the bed. Having things within reach is always a great idea. Making sure you've got sort of button down things that you can like throw on easily. I had some like loose t-shirts that I thought would be a great idea, but in hindsight, you really want that skin to skin time with the baby. So having things that you can open up at the front is really important. And comfortable clothes to go home in. So I was all about having like a cool outfit to go home in. I had a great tracksuit, which was quite comfortable, but in hindsight, probably a little bit tight around my abdomen. So having something really loose and not restricting at all is a great idea. Another thing which is important that I didn't do, which is to maybe label things in your hospital bag. So my fiance had to leave at 9 o'clock until 9 o'clock the next morning because of the hospital's visiting hours, which meant that I had the midwives coming in and they were the ones that could help me, you know, get stuff out of my bag, find the right clothing, etc. It all became a bit of a mess really quickly for both me and for the baby. So having really easily accessible stuff, sort of, you know, the baby's clothes and vests, things like muslins, my own clothes, just to be able to say, you know, it's in that bag, you'll be able to read it, is a great idea. Other things that I wish I'd had or wish I'd done, an eye mask is a really good one. There's always lights somewhere, and also I just couldn't reach the switches because I couldn't get out of bed, so I had quite bright light, and the minutes, less than hours maybe, that I had to sort of shut my eyes and get some rest, I really could have done with having darkness to try and get off really quickly. So an eye mask is very important. And flip-flops. So I had some like slippers to walk around with, but flip-flops would be great if you're able to sort of get into the shower, you know, bathe yourself a little bit. What I actually ended up doing was having a flannel with me and just giving myself a bit of a body bath. Anything to help you feel a bit fresh. Obviously don't forget your toothbrush is really important. So I think those are kind of my main things. In terms of the hospital bag for the baby as well, just make sure we've got enough changes. They start pooing everywhere from day dot. So we had quite a few changes. Luckily we did have enough clothes, but things like vests and baby grows, just like as many as you can have, is a really good idea. So that's the hospital bag. It's been really great sharing a bit of my story. If you want to find out more or follow some of my fashion as a new mum, then please follow me. I'm on Instagram at Patricia O'Dwyer, and I hope to see you there. Thanks.
So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed our parenting special. Thank you so much to Patricia, Katherine, Sommer, Sarah, Toby, and of course Laura. On the next show, we are back to normal with Lisa Pintow's Life in Accessories, fashion from Claudia Beresford, beauty from Adiola, and lots more. Please don't miss it. In the meantime, we would love it if you would give us a comment below, give us a thumbs up, and do subscribe if you haven't yet. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye-bye.